Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. Oh, all right. It's been kind of a crazy weekend for me. My husband and I got the first steps towards moving done yesterday. I met with a real estate agent, and then today had a phone call with banks to, start running the credits, see what we're qualified for, all that kind of stuff. So I'm a little discombobulated. um, this has been needing to be done for a while, and I've been resisting it, and I'm a little worried about it, but needs to happen. So if I seem a little today, that's why. Anyway, hope you're all doing well. I see Chad. Hey Chad, how you doing? Thank you for the rec, by the way, most appreciated. So I think this will be a good move going forward. I'm just nervous because, we haven't moved in 20 years. And we have a lot to get through in this house. As you can see just behind me, there's a stash and a half. So we're going to start with the easy stuff and keep working down. A side note, let's see, for stitching, I am going to be working today on Egyptian Sampler, which is one of my Whip Go things, and also one of my bigger projects that I want to get done sooner than later. This is the full piece. It is an intense one, but that's pretty par for the course for Teresa Wentzler one. And I have had this in progress for 20 years. It kind of got put aside for a while for a variety of reasons as I was finishing other stuff. And then I needed to step away and take a break from it because it was annoying me. So now I want to push it forward. So this is where I'm at as I start Whip Go on it. So I've got, the outside borders done. My mistake was I started trying to do all the detail work in this, when really I should just be focusing on getting some of the cross stitching in so that I had the balance there. Not sure what I'm going to work on today. I think I'm going to start by filling in more of these dots just to get them done all the way around, because it's something easy to do during sprints where I don't have to do seriously in-depth thinking, but we'll see. The issue I have is that I don't know whether the bin that I think I pulled out that is supposed to be the one for this piece, I don't know if it's the right floss box. It has the right colors, but this might be the one from my floral bell pull from a few years ago. But there's enough colors between the two that I can find something to stitch today. Donna is here. Hello, Donna. What you working on today? But yeah, that's my plan for today for stitching. Next week, I know I have my normal schedule planned for 3 p.m., but that may get pushed back to 4 o'clock, or it may get canceled, just as a heads up. We have a family thing we're going to do for lunch on next Sunday for the March birthday folks. And that was the day that just worked out for everybody. And so I'm going to say for right now, I'm not going to be back for 3 o'clock, but just kind of watch this space. And I will let you know what's going to happen that day. I'll either start it at 4 and run it till 7, or I'll just cancel and come back the next week. But we'll figure it out. Yeah, but that's about it for right now. Let's see, anything else coming up for stitching? I'm getting together with some friends next week for a finishing party, which will be nice. So stuff that I've had finished but not framed, or ornaments that I have stitched but not finished. We're going to get together for a day and hang out and just do finishing work, which will be awesome. And then that way people that that like, you know, want to try something but have never done it and just kind of want someone there for the, oh my God, what am I doing? We'll have somebody that we can bounce ideas off of, which will be great because everyone's done a little bit of different things, but just having that person there to hold your hand if you're not quite sure is always awesome. So in my case, it's going to be learning to frame because I've never framed anything on my own. And I have a bunch of stuff I want to frame. So that's my goal next week, is to learn how to lace something, how to frame something, so I can get some of these smaller things framed and on my wall. And I can help with doing ornaments because I have done biscornus, I've done, you know, regular, I've done flat ornaments, I've done all that kind of stuff. So I can help out with ornament stitching and help the expertise there. So that'll be fun. Oh yes, Lady of Shalott. That one is a pretty one, and it's on my list of eventuals to do, Donna. I've adopted a few Wenslers along the way, and I realized, well, it probably was like 4 years ago when I started doing the May, the Stitch Mania in May, where you know you pick a certain number of projects based on the year, and you work like a day on each project. And my tradition is to let people that I know on Facebook pick the projects I'm going to do out of all of my whips. And I basically put them on a piece of paper, numbered order, and just let people call numbers. And one year they picked all of the Wenslers. It was like, okay, I'm having a Wensler mania. This is great. Yeah, and it's like that's a lot of quarter stitches. That's a lot of quarter stitches. I don't know if I'm doing mania this year. If I do, I might do it as a focused mania on one piece, only because now with this move coming up, some of my stuff is obviously going to have to get packed up, and stuff like stitching stash I'm not using right now, and like books and board games and that kind of stuff is like the easy stuff to box up and get ready to move and just get it out of the way. So I don't know if I'll do a Stitch Mania, although my stuff's already in containers. So we'll see. I've got a month to figure that out. All right. But anyway, it's good to see everybody. Glad to see you're all here. So if there is anyone that I'm not seeing that's on the live, the way this is going to work is I am going to put us in a countdown for 45 minutes, and it'll be a silent countdown. So if you are doing audiobooks, if you like to watch TV while you stitch, or whatever you're doing, you don't have to be stitching. If you're cleaning your house, if you're doing studying, whatever you're doing, it'll be a 45-minute silent countdown, and then we'll come back, we'll stretch, we'll chat, get yourself, something to drink, and then we will repeat that 2 more times. And then at the end, there will be a 15-minute silent countdown just to make your notes for next time, or if you've got somewhere else you got to go, it's a good time to go, hey, bye, I'm skedaddling. But it'll be just kind of like that 15-minute tidy your space, get yourself prepped for next time, kind of a sprint, and that'll be it for the night. This is a come and go as you please. If you got stuff to do, and you can just pop in and say hi for 1 sprint or for 10 minutes, all cool. This is purely for you to set some time aside to do your thing, whatever your thing is. For me, it was setting aside time to make sure I get some stitching in every week, because I was finding myself over planning and over scheduling and not setting time for myself. So this is me making myself accountable to myself. And it will be running most Sundays at this time. So you can come and hang out with me. All right. So that's how it works. And I'm going to get us started in our first sprint. So it'll be 45 minutes. and I will see you guys. I will be here at my desk. I'm going to be stitching in here. So if you are chatting, feel free to chat as much as you want. I will respond as, you know, I take a break from looking at my pattern, and I'll chat, but we'll have a big chat catch up when we get back. So happy sprinting, everybody, and I'll see you in about 45 minutes. And hello, everybody. This was a sprint that went really, really fast. How'd you do? It was good for me. I just had problems. I should have done this earlier today. I couldn't find the container for my current project. And I think the one I grabbed is for another project by the same designer that I finished and just never cleared the container out of, which is fine because a lot of the colors are the same. It's like the same colorways. But yeah, it took me a little bit to get situated in and go, okay, so now none of my notes on the bobbins that I have, the symbols don't match, but what are the colors, that kind of thing. So it took me a little bit to get into what I'm working on. But as I was looking at it, I discovered I never finished cross stitching this row all the way across. So I'm finishing that up first. And then, excuse me, since I think I have the floss from that previous project and like some of the colors might not match up, I think I'm just going to focus on getting like borders in for the squares here. Let me pull up so there's these 3 squares here. So I think I'm going to just work on getting the borders to define them in, because I know I have the colors for that, or I could do the ones that are up here. Just so that, I have some stuff defined while I figure out where the heck I put the real container. It used to be labeled, but stuff in this room has gone through quite an overhaul. And it's my own fault for not keeping my project bag. And I don't use these floss containers as much like I used to. So they get broken apart, and that's my own fault. So I need to do a little rethinking. But hey, since we're moving, this is the time to fix stuff and get it together so that I don't have these issues, right? It's a work in progress. But yeah, so slow starting sprint, but by the end of the next one, I'll have this all in, and then I can figure out where I'm going from there for today. So let me go back and see where, because we had quite a few people come into chat, which is awesome. Okay. So Donna is working on her Wentzler or Lady Shalott. She might pull that one out, and I agree that they take a lot to get done, especially when I'm one of those shiny stitchers where I'm like, I want to work on that one, and I want to work on that one, and yeah, and that's why then you get this mess behind me of all the whips. Nicole came in. She's working again on her haunted house, and she's listening to Mockingbird Court by Juno Black, which is awesome. I said hello to her, and then Pearl came in with hello, that she had some great events. She is doing a scarf and knitting the poppy pot holder again. Her son went to a bagpiping workshop, which is very, very cool. So she took knitting and her e-reader to hang out and chill, and got a lot done over the hours that she was there. And then she went to a Maple Fest today, about an hour from her. Not great weather, but a good time, which is awesome. And she's going to be putting that in her vlog on her her YouTube channel. So if you want to check her out. Pearl is also doing her own live streams on Tuesdays from Pearl, go ahead, and if you want to put a link into your channel, feel free. I believe it's 10 a.m. Eastern time. I know I make a note always on my end to go and check in at around noon, because that's when I roughly have a lunch break. But I believe you start around 10. But if you need some more like live streams to get things done, crafty stuff, house stuff, she also streams during the week, along with several others, but she's one of the crafty streamers. So Pearl and I were chatting about things and how I'm going to be moving, and we're kind of going through all of that. Um, and Pearl said that this is the busy time of the year for her, right through the end of August, with her son competing all the time. I hear that. I am in the busy season for work. This has been my busy season for the last 10 years for work, because all of my, so I work at an insurance broker, and I don't place insurance personally, but I work back of house. So I'm doing like a lot of the admin, project manager, coordinator stuff. And this time of year, we've got a bunch of our clients that are coming up for renewals, like at the end of June, beginning of July, which it seems like it's a long time, but we're working on really complex lines of insurance. So we need that lead time to get things placed for them. So a lot of my role is starting off doing like what's happened in the company for the past year and getting, a presentation together for a strategy meeting. And those things take a lot of time, and they're very busy. So my work schedule is really crazy right now. And then also my son is gearing up for his first degree black belt test in Jeet Kune Do, which is the style of martial arts that Bruce Lee started. Lots of Taekwondo base in it, but then they branch out into other things. And he got his black belt a year and a half ago. And now he's going to the next rank up. So he'll get a gold stripe if he passes a new belt, a new black belt with a gold stripe to indicate that he's gotten a rank higher. And so he has the busy social life right now. So we're at, his classes all the time. And then he's got a black belt prep class that he has to go to. And he's also on the school demo team, and they perform at a gala after the black belt testing. There's like a big celebratory gala with all the different schools that are in his martial arts community. And like each of the schools has a demo performance that they do. And, so he's doing that. And so there's a lot of running around. It's like, I don't know how parents that have kids in like varsity sports and JV sports do it, because that's even more involved than what Max is doing. But that's what we're doing right now. And so he's prepping for that. And that's over Memorial Day weekend, the last weekend of May. So we're gearing up for this thing. It's like, oh my goodness. So yeah, I feel that. But whew, parenting, isn't it great? Let me continue skimming through. So yeah, so we were chatting, Pearl and I were chatting about where we're moving to, and we're staying roughly in the same area. It's the area that we know. We're just making an improvement on our commutes and school systems and that kind of thing. And a house that's not 125 years old that needs a full overhaul. I love our house, but we've outgrown it. And I know that, even though I don't want to leave. So yeah, we were chatting about that for a little bit. She made the joke about how you can only drive so far in Rhode Island before you're in a whole other place. This is true. If you've never been to Rhode Island, it's really small. Diagonal corner to corner, it's about an hour. It's very tiny. And for people like me who grew up out in the Intermountain West, I'm from Montana originally. I get so amused by the natives here who freak out going 20 minutes. Because I'm like, that's like in town. That's nothing. Yeah. So it's a small state. It's a very quirky state. It's kind of like in the New England state situation that we have here. Rhode Island's like the scrappy little pit bull that thinks that, or not quite a Chihuahua actually, but kind of Chihuahua vibes, where they're like the big tough dog and they think they're bigger than they are. that's Rhode Island compared to everybody else. It's kind of adorable. And I will miss living here because I do love how close we are to things. But I'm in Massachusetts just as much as I am Rhode Island, since I work 2 days out of the week in Boston. Before Eric and I lived here, we lived up in Mass. He's from Mass originally. So we're going back. It's not like we're completely uprooting and going somewhere strange. It's just kind of going roughly back to where we were before. So it's just the houses are so much more expensive. It's like, so that's a bit of a shocker, especially after being here 20 years, looking at what the mortgage is going to be. It's like, oh dear God. Okay. But we'll get there. All right. So let me skim through. So Liz popped in really quick and said that she was going to be joining in after this ocular migraine. I am so sorry, ma'am. You are like the fourth person I've known of that's had one this weekend. And I don't know if yours are weather dependent. I know a lot of people are getting them because of the weather and the up and down and the pressures. So I hope that you're feeling better soon. Yeah, I am not one of those that gets that. I just get like the ankle joint pains, and the old injuries say hi, but nothing like a migraine that will take you completely out. Let's see. Let me continue skimming. Pearl said how her son only has had one home, one room, one backyard, and she grew up moving every few years, so I had a lot of fresh starts. I grew up like your son. I grew up in the same house my entire childhood, and Max has only known this house. So yeah, it's gonna be a big move. It's gonna be a big move for all of us. I didn't move until college, and then I made the gigantic, all the way across the country move, and then I stayed put again. It's like, no, now I'm in New England. I'm not moving again. So let's see. Okay, Pearlis commented that she's not a mod, so she can't put the links in the chat. 7 a.m. Eastern on Tuesdays, I go till 5. Okay, during the next sprint, I will put the link in for you. I didn't realize that was mod dependent. I'm sorry. This is one of the, you learn things. But yes, I'll put that in for you then. And she hits the road in June and are away for 10 comps around Ontario. Yeah. So you'll be everywhere. I will be, yeah, my spring is busy. Summer is going to be busy this year, obviously, because of the move. Usually summers around here are pretty chill. We don't really do a whole lot. Yeah, this summer might be a little funky with this whole plan going on. My brain is really trying to wrap around it, and it's like, we got a lot to do. But the house isn't on the market yet. We're not ready to get it up yet. We got to do some weeding. So spring cleaning this year is going to be getting rid of stuff and getting the stuff that we don't necessarily need right now before we move packed up, to make it as easy as possible at the end. And my brain is just kind of like swirling around that. All right. So let me get us into our next sprint. Again, if you're someone who's joining us during the sprint, say hi. Love to see ya. Pearlis, you're going to be filming a lot for your walking channel since you'll be in a lot of different cities and towns. Nice. Yeah. I plan on trying to do some filming this spring as I get stuff done, and also just kind of talking about organization and stuff for my stitching, because hey, I'm going to need to know where everything is. It's in pretty good shape, actually, aside from this one container that has decided to go on walkabout. Most of my stuff's in pretty good shape, but it's definitely not going to hurt me to get everything in better shape as I go and have it ready to go when we get to a new house. So, all right. So let me get us into our sprint. It'll be another 45 minutes. And I will see you guys when we get back. So happy sprinting, everybody. All right, everybody. Hello, hello. How did that sprint go for you? As I mentioned in the chat, I forgot that I was going to be making dinner tonight, and we plan on doing our St. Patty's Day early because, work weeks and everything, and I just never know what's going to happen during my work day. It was like, oh yeah, let's just do that Sunday night since, corned beef takes a decent amount of time. And I don't slow cook mine. I do mine and just do it old fashioned, boil it on the stove with lots of spices and stuff. So it was like, oh yeah, I probably should get that in if we want to be eating by, like 8 o'clock, because it takes about 3 hours to 2.5 to 3 hours to make it. So it's like, oh, so that was most of my sprint, was getting that prepped and in the pot. And my husband assisted with some of it, and now he is on, stirring duty as timers go off until I'm done here. It was like, so I really only got about 10 minutes of stitching in. But so I'm continuing working that long row back across. It wasn't a whole lot. And I'm listening to I've been listening to a cozy mystery series. That's the word I'm looking for. Cozy mystery series by Lynn Cahoon, the Kitchen Witch mystery series. I'm on book 4, which is 4 Charming Spells. Good, easy, low key, doesn't need a lot of brain power book listening. I just finished reading Dungeon Crawler Carl's book 8, which is coming out in publication in May, but I'm part of his Patreon. So he released a unedited copy for his Patreons to read in a digital version. And his books are tomes. The 7th book clocked in, I want to say, almost at 800 pages. And this one was like 600 and change on an e-reader. So that took me a while to get through, and it was dense and it was intense. Very good. So I needed something low-key before I switched to something more intense again, just to kind of like brain dump. So doing nice cozy mysteries where, people die in small towns, but they follow a formula. And easy to do when you're filming and everything. Yeah, let me know what you're reading too. If you're reading anything good that I need to put in my TBR. It probably won't go on my list for this year, but I'll definitely do it eventually. All right, so let me switch back to things. Let me go. Okay, so when last I left, Pearl was saying how she was going to be filming a lot for a walking channel since she'll be in a lot of cities and towns. Nicole went to get a bite to eat and just got back, and she's getting back to work on those windows in the haunted house. Nice. I freaked out about my corned beef. And then I linked Pearl's page for her sprints on Tuesdays, and she also does a vlog about knitting. So go check her out. Seriously, the more crafty people we have, the better. Nicole liked the idea of my dinner tonight. Yes. And you know what, actually, I'll type it up and I'll put it on my my blog, because just in case, God forbid, in this move, my recipe, which is, handwritten on paper, if something happens to it, I don't want to lose it. So I'll put it on my blog, and then if anyone else wants to try it, it's a very easy recipe. I'll type in my blog right now while I'm thinking about it, because I can do that from memory. It doesn't get a whole lot of work, but there we go. Blog is in. Let's see. Jenna popped in and said, hello, waves, tags between chores, vanishes back into the kitchen. I hear that. I will be doing that later this evening during other people's sprints, because I have been slacking off and not getting anything done around the house, and need to do that. And Pearl said hi to Jenna and said thanks for sharing the link anytime. The more the merrier. We got to support each other, right? Pearl finished The Night Sister yesterday and will start Lemon Curd Killer tonight. I've heard of that one. Those are also on my list at some point. I'm in one of those challenges on which on Storygraph where it's like clear the cozies, and it's like 100 cozy books. There's no time limit on it, but it's like, oh my god, 100 cozy books. And I'm like, what am I worried about? Half of the series I have are like that I can check out from the library are like 15 freaking books. Why am I worried about getting through cozies? There's so many of them. It's like just it's a dependent of what theme do you want the goofy title to be this time around. As a side note, with my I discovered Jenna and a whole ton of other writers, you know, just through Pomodoros and stuff. And I was doing Pomodoros for work, and then these ones for reading and writing popped up. Excuse me. And that's how I discovered them, and how then I was influenced to do this. And I've been trying to start my own novel, which has been on like my list of things to do for ever, since I was a teenager. With the move, it might be things kind of doing background stuff and not really pushing to get it done right now, but I want to play with it. Yeah, that's how I met Jenna, and just seeing the way folks that are actual published writers and their thought processes and the community and all that, and it's like, that's really cool. I really, really like that. I'm very, very happy meeting all these folks. It's like, I want to meet people in person. And I know that'll happen eventually. So, but yeah, I do want to write. Yeah, it's in my blood to write. It's what I went to college for, and then life took me in a different direction. So now that I'm in my 50s, it's time to get back to writing. All right. So if nobody else, other people are busy, let's see. Oh my goodness. It's an Ivana. Hello, hello. Ivana is one of my college buddies and one of my sorority sisters. Cool. Tell me when you're coming up, and we will absolutely meet. I will make time for you anytime, dear. Just drop me a line. Nicole's like, it sounds like so much fun. Love cozies. I've been neglecting my cozy mystery shelf. Need to bump up some on my TBR. Most of mine, I usually check them out from the library. But I do have a stack up on my bookshelves too. But it's like, you know, easy way to, and since it doesn't have a time limit, it's like, okay, I'll just go through 100 books. But hey, it's nice to see Ivana here. I haven't talked to you in ages, and it's mostly my fault. And yeah, one of these, now that my mother doesn't live down in Pennsylvania, it's impossible to get together with you because she's never there. Drives me crazy. But yeah. Anyway, let's see. I've been running a timer on the break just to keep us on a little bit of more of a schedule, since I could, wander and talk until the cows come home or the cats start coming in and complaining for food. Take your pick. So we've got about 45 minutes until my beepy thing goes off on the timer. Actually, let me pause that real quick. So during this next one, for those who weren't on right when I started today, I wanted to let you know that I had scheduled a live stream next week from 3 to 6 p.m. Eastern. But we have a family thing we're going to do for lunch that day. So just in case, I don't want to, bail on family, because we haven't seen family in a while, and it's family. So for right now, I am going to delay starting my live stream next week. I'm going to push it to just for safety's sake, I think I'm going to push it to 5 p.m. and do a 5 to 8. In the event that you don't see me start on time, just assume that it's probably canceled for the week, but I'm going to keep it on there. I'm just going to reschedule the time just to give me, afternoon time, just to make sure we're not rushing back and all that kind of stuff. And, it's family. So, but if I know for a fact it's going to get canceled, I will put an update post on both my YouTube and on my Facebook page, just so folks know that we're just not going to do it this week. I'll come back. We'll do it the final week of March with no problem. And then the following week is Easter. I won't have one on Easter Sunday for obvious reasons. A lot of people are busy. I don't know what our plans are. Not religiously our thing, but we often get together with family, so I need to leave it open. However, we'll see. Maybe depending on what goes on, maybe I'll do a pop-up sprint that weekend at some point. And then my schedule for April and May, excuse me, get a little bit weird because of a stitching retreat that I have, a virtual stitching retreat, and Max's karate schedule, and just a couple of things. So keep an eye on my both my Facebook page. I'll put a link to put my schedule. I'll put it on my blog, and I'll also put it on YouTube of what's going to be going on, because the next few weeks are a little weird on my end, and I'm going to try to do as many lives as possible, but stuff comes up. We all have life. So, but then it'll calm down again. Fingers crossed. And I'm going to need stitch time with all of this sorting of my house. All right. So with that, why don't I get us into our last 45-minute sprint? And I will see you guys here in 45 minutes. Let me skip that. And happy sprinting, everybody. All right. Hello, everyone. That 45 went really fast for me. I got a little bit more done, which is good. Bit of slower stitching day than I thought it would be, but that's okay. You know, some days are that way. But I'll continue working on it probably more this evening, and we'll keep plugging along. So let's see where we ended up. So we were chatting about Cozy Mysteries and checking them out of the library, and Pearl said that they had Libby where she is, but not all books. When she wanted to do an audio Christmas murder mystery, her friend that lives 500 kilometers away helped get it from her library. And yeah, our library also has Libby, and Ocean State Libraries also has one called Hoopla. They can use both, and but I find that I'm working Hoopla I've used for a long time through the Ocean State Libraries. I don't know if they allow people from out of state, but if not, you can always check the Ocean State Libraries and see if they do anything. But Boston Public Library, I think, does allow people from all over the place to do a digital checkout card, and they have a very extensive system. Excuse me. But yeah, so Pearl said that she got a lot of knitting done. Yay. And thank you for the sprints today. Always good to chat with you. You're welcome. I'm happy that you're getting stuff done, and yay. It's nice to have a community online. I freely admit, if you saw me in person, you'd be like, she's really quiet. But for some reason, online, I'm a little more comfortable. In person, I don't know. It's a weird thing. I'm an introvert extrovert, I guess. And Jenna said that she finally finished with chores, setting in some journaling, and then some writing. Very nice. Yeah, once I get done streaming today, I'll be doing my journaling, getting my planner together for the week. And I joined the Heart Breathings, the HB90. So I know they had the live kickoff today. And I'm going to go catch up on that this evening and get started on HB90. So fingers crossed that helps me get my brain around a lot of things and to keep going and going. So should be interesting. But yes, the journaling will be happening because I haven't done mine today, and I always do an end of week look back on what's been going on. So that's been my tradition for the last year since I really got back into my journaling. And where's my current journal? So this is the one that I started the year off with. I actually picked up this one at Savers, which is one of our thrift shops that we have. And I have that much left in this journal before I start a new one. So I think based on that, it'll definitely be before August. So, but yeah, I've got some good writing to do this evening because I need to be better about my writing. I was so good for a while and then I fell off. But yeah, so I've got that to do this evening. Okay. And Joe's like, thank you for being you and helping to keep the community with a safe space. You're welcome. And I hope I do. I want to be a safe space for people. I sometimes am not always a safe space. And if I stumble, just know that I'm stumbling because I'm being an idiot. But, you know, I do try to be a safe space because, hey, we all need them. And I just want people to have a place to get together. You know, whatever the heck you're doing. It's like, we all need more community spaces. So, all right. Well, let me get us. So since I'm going to have to get back to cooking in a little bit, let me get us into our countdown just to, you know, wrap up what you're doing. If you're, I don't know who else is sprinting this evening. Let me, before I switch over. I stumbled into something really random, by the way, while I was in our last sprint. So, you know that the show Britain's Got Talent? Apparently this week, the woman who played Nancy in the movie Oliver back in 1968 came back and surprised them and sang, if he needs me on the Britain's Got Talent. She's 92 now, and she just came out and belted it just like she did when she was in the movie. It's like, go mama. Yeah, but that's on YouTube if you need to see the 92-year-old come out and just like blow the house down. It's like, damn right you did. Let me see who is streaming this evening, and I'll put a couple of linkies in just in case. Oh, are the Oscars tonight too? Not that I ever watch the Oscars. I guess the Oscars are this evening. So the Oscars are going on if you need to watch the Oscars. Let's see. I don't see any links right now, but if anybody does know of people that are sprinting tonight, feel free to add links in. I have no problem with people plugging sprints. And yeah, so I'll wrap up here for now. Go ahead and count your stitches and whatnot. And if you're taking off, have a great rest of the night and a great week. And I will see you I'm going to set for 5:00 p.m. next Sunday instead of my normal 3:00, but we will run a normal set of sprints. So it'll just go until 8. All right. And if I don't see you back after the check-in, have a good week, everybody. Let's go to the last countdown of sprints, 15 minutes. All righty, everybody. Oh, let me change that since that is not accurate anymore. There we go. All right. So yes, next week I will be doing the stream starting. Oh, and I've got myself in a backlash. Ha ha. Okay. So yeah, next week, 5 p.m. till 8 p.m. Eastern. Again, as always, come in and go as your time allows. And until then, have a wonderful rest of your week. And I will see you guys next weekend. Take care, all. Have a good night.